Hello everyone, hopefully you will be fine and enjoying the course of life. Today let's look into the Dynamics 365 capabilities that can help make journals processing easier, and that can also help ensure that correct data is captured and internal controls is aren't compromised. Let's say that you have users which are not familiar with Dynamics 365 and you still need them to post correct entries within Dynamics 365, and you still want to use the internal controls that the financial dimensions are being correctly mapped with the transaction entries, and you need to default some of the values from for the journals. One of the most important setup in this regard is the journal names. It's a good idea to define specific journal names for such purpose, such as intercompany, accrual, adjustments, and error correction. You can tailor each journal name to help make data entry for each purpose easy and secure. On the journal names page, you can set up following elements. You can set up workflow approvals to increase internal controls. Define general workflow that establish materiality limits for review and approval steps based on the criteria such as total debit amount. You can set up workflow for journals on the general ledger workflow page. You can select default values for offset account, currency, and financial dimensions. And third type, you can use the general controls. You can set up restrictions on the company and the account type and also on the segment value. So let's look into the general names area within Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations. For doing this, let's go to the Dynamics home page. From home page to general ledger. Within the general ledger in the setup area, you will find the general names. For demo purposes, I have created a general name like test. In this general name, I have defaulted, I have provided the general type. I haven't used the approval area here. I can specify the approval to yes. Let me edit this. I have specified, if I specify the edit approval yes, then I will specify the approval group here who will be approving this. This is generic workflow approval mechanism, and here we have a specific workflow engine based workflow to activate for this this general name. If I I need to use the workflow for this general name, I will simply go and select this to yes, and here I will be selecting the related workflow. Next, I can specify the private user group. Like for if I need to use, I don't want to allow everyone to post the journals using this general name. I will simply go there and select a general user group that will be posting these journals. Here I will be using the account type that will be default for the offset accounts. That will be default ledger account which will be offsetting this journal, and here I will be specifying the offset account which will be which this journal will be using as a default offset account. The posting layer will be current, level of posting will be details, and the fee posting will be keep fee in the general. I have multiple options: transfer fee to transfer fees, keep voucher number, and transfer fees to to a new voucher number. So I'll be using the first one, default value, keep fees in the general. Next, what I can do is to default to put the limit on the lines. Like this general name can contain 3 or 4 or 5 lines only. On the same page, I can specify the currency. This general name will be utilizing the currencies in the USD. In the sales tax setup, I can specify the options for sales tax. Amounts will be if the my amounts needs to be included in this the sales tax must be included, then I will put this yes. If I need to hide the sales tax fields within the general, I will activate this option as well. Next, as discussed earlier, that I can default values. So we have discussed about the defaulting offset account, we have discussed about the defaulting the currency. Now let's look into the financial dimensions. Whatever I need to default using this general name, I'll be putting those default dimensions here. The 004 will be the my business unit for this general name, and 009 will be my cost center for this general name. For this general name, I will be using the business unit and cost center only. I will not be going for defaulting the department. I will not be going for defaulting the item group or the project. So if you want to specify the department level general name, so you can specify the department and then provide the department name here. Same goes for the item group and same goes for the projects. Since we have created a general name, we have defaulted some of the values. Now let's create a journal using this name. So I will go to the journal entries within the general ledger, journal entries and general journal. Let's create a new one. Specify the name. Go to the lines. Before going to the lines, let's look what this journal has defaulted from the name. Let's go to the general tab. Here you see the lines limit is 3. Let's go to the setup area. Here you see the default currency is set to the USD and the offset account is set to the offset account which we have provided on the general name. Let's go to the financial dimensions. Here you see the default dimensions have been picked from the general name. The default business unit is 004 and the cost center is 009. Most of the times users forgot to provide the default dimensions, so in this way you can overcome that issue. Now let's go to the lines. So here you see most of the information has been defaulted from the name. I'll be using this account with this ledger code, and I will be providing the description as correction, and here I will be providing the value. So you see the date has been defaulted, voucher has been defaulted, and I have just provided the user. Being a user, the user will have just to provide the main account. System will also suggest the debit dimension for the debit account from the offset account, and then there will be the amount, the currency will be also from the general names setup. So let's validate this. There's no error. Let's go to another step, simulate posting. It's another option. It normally validation for option do not validate up to the level which is required for posting. So simulate posting is another option which will validate the transaction or the voucher to the level where system considers that it is posting. So let's use the simulate posting area. There's no issue again, so we can simply post this entry. Done. So you see how easy it is to put the internal controls using the general names. So we have used the default dimensions for this journal, we have used the default currency for this journal, and we have used the default offset account for this journal. It minimizes the error for the data entries, and also use the in-placed internal controls for posting data entry. Now let's print this entry. We will go to the print area, print to screen, click OK. So here you see that the default print of the voucher we have just posted using the default general name option. In place controls for the offset posting account, for the currency, and for the default dimensions. Thank you for watching. Our next topic is to discuss about the how to post the periodic journals. Periodic journals are sometimes called recurring journals because the amount, text, and other information are repeated each time that the periodic journal is retrieved.